Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight on our July 2nd edition of 7 at 7. So, tonight, I wanted to kind of talk about what the Bible has to say for us about wisdom. It's all throughout the Bible, lots and lots of stuff written about it through the Psalms, through the Proverbs, um, and many other places. But where I want to look at tonight is in the book of James. And we're going to look at James chapter 3, and specifically verses 17 and 18. So I'm going to read for you out of my, I use, if I haven't said on here before, I use the NASB just because it's easier for me to read. So that's if your translation sounds a little bit different, don't let that be of any concern to you whatsoever. If you have the Bible app, like a lot of us use, has a feature on there where you can kind of switch back and forth between translations. So I like to do that because it helps me kind of understand the text better. So enough about that. Let's get into the scriptures. So verse 17 and 18, James writes this: "The wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, reasonable, full of mercy and good fruits, unwavering, without hypocrisy. And the seed whose fruit is righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace." I'm going to read that one again. "And the seed whose fruit is righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace." So, what is James talking about here? There's a well-known rule in the natural world that helps us understand a spiritual truth here, and that is we reap what we sow. What does that mean? What it means is there's consequences to every choice that we make. Um, a lot of you know I coach football, and we tell our football players all the time that life is about choices, decisions, and consequences. And that's kind of what we're getting at here, teaching us here that the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace. So as we share God's fruit with others, they are able to eat and to receive God's blessing, and as a result, bear fruit themselves. We've all heard the kind of charge that we've been given to make disciples, but if you kind of read that into this, not just disciples, but disciple makers, right? So we want that fruit to also bear fruit. So when we really kind of step back and look maybe from a macro level, our lives are completely about reaping and sowing. Who we are is really how we live. And how we live is what we sow. What we sow determines what we reap. So if we live in God's wisdom and we sow the fruit of righteousness, which has these seeds that James listed off here: gentleness, mercy, meekness, purity, peace. If we sow this fruit sincerely, that is also how we will reap the presence of God. Hopefully that was encouraging to you today. Let me close this out in prayer. God, today you have led us by your word. This morning you reminded me not to seek the wisdom of this world, but to seek the wisdom of your word. God, your word is a light unto my path. It's a lamp unto my feet, always there to guide me in the way of peace. I just pray that you surround me and anyone listening, God, to this this broadcast, that you would just surround us with the peace of your presence. May your wisdom protect our hearts, protect our minds. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Hope you have a good night.